Hi, Figgy.
Hi, Bernie. Hi, Timmy.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
How's the new home coming?
Coming.
You see, you need a cabinet like that.
So
What, like,
I do have like that. That's exactly what I do have.
What, a file cabinet?
huh?
A file cabinet?
Oh, he's moving his office into my house,
Oh,
taking over the whole house, you know.
if you need another file cabinet, I have one.
What, like
Brand
that?
new one.
Huh?
A brand new one.
Why, you don't need it?
I bought it by accident on Amazon, and
Yeah.
I canceled it because it was coming too late. And the next morning, guess what?
It arrived.
It
Miracle.
arrived. And I told them that I can't, schlep it back to Whole Foods or whatever. So they said, okay, forget it. I said, it's your fault because you didn't cancel it. So they said, just keep it. And they gave me Amazon credit. So now
That's
it's
good.
sitting in my garage.
Okay. Good to know.
Right.
We have enough clutter.
Yeah.
I'm moving the file cabinets for my office.
Oh, wow. So
It's
where are you going to
taking
put
all over,
everything?
it's taking over Shlomo's
One
room.
small room.
Nonsense.
Yeah.
He threw me out of my office.
Okay, children, let's not fight.
Yeah. All right, Debbie, your face is still half in the thing. Move over.
So what do you
So
want
how
me
you-
to do?
So is Ellie okay over there now?
Más o menos.
Más o menos.
He still wants to go back to Highland.
No,
For what?
He still talks about it, huh?
What does he think he's
It-
missing?
He thinks he's just there temporarily.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Hopefully, little by little, yum, yum.
Okay.
Are you enjoying the new house?
I am.
Your kitchen is gorgeous.
Baruch Hashem, yeah. I said I did everything here what I didn't do on Highland.
Okay, so at least
So you said to me, you'll never do it. You'll never do it. I did.
Who said that?
You said to me that I'll never, it was too much to do over there
And then the Highland, the house.
on
Yeah.
Highland.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
was,
said you wouldn't do this. I'm so glad you didn't start.
I would never finish. It was too much. Too much.
And they didn't do anything.
Who didn't?
The new people.
Who said that?
No, I think they're doing, yeah. That's from what I hear, they're working on it. Whatever, Gesundheit, you're welcome to it.
Well,
Probably-
you did your share.
Much quieter on your street now.
Very nice and quiet, yes.
Not the
Very cool.
cars going by. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need my prescription. I need to want to get a pair of glasses, Bernie.
I don't know who to refer you to.
What up, everybody?
Uh,
Hi, Ernie.
Hi.
So Susie got on the flight?
Susie's on the way there. I mean, I think she's there already.
What do you mean she's there?
He's flying to Israel.
No, I know.
Susie's Susie's going to Israel tonight.
No, I know that. What time did the flight
The
leave?
flight is 10:30.
So that's okay.
Maybe it's-
Hello. Okay, so we are Melachim Beis, Perek Chaf, Pasuk Daled. We were told that Chizkiyahu HaMelech got sick, and Yeshayahu Navi came to visit him, and Chizkiyahu davened. and also ask Yeshayahu to daven for him as well. Vahi Yeshayahu lo yotzo chatzra tichono. Even before Yeshayahu left this outer courtyard where Chizkiyahu HaMelech was, Udvar Hashem hayai lav lemor. Hashem is not delaying the answer to Chizkiyahu HaMelech's tefillah. By the way, the Gemara in Eruvin, Chavav Amud Aleph says, Yeshayahu, my boy, also. What is Yeshayahu doing in this outer courtyard? This is like the courtyard behind the palace. It's not the way out. So, Amar Rav Barachon and Rav Yochanan Melamed, Shechalach Chizkiah, V'holach Yeshayahu v'hoshiv yeshiva. What did Yeshayahu do? He put a yeshiva on the place. Rashi there in Eruvin says, Shel Talmidim, Lasok b'Torah al Pischo, that they should learn Torah at the door of Chizkiyahu HaMelech's palace. Shelo yehei reshus l'malach hamaves likanes al Pischo, so that the malach hamaves stays away from Torah, and that way the malach hamaves will not enter. Remember, by David HaMelech, the malach hamaves could not. David HaMelech was learning Torah all the time, and he made a wind blow, and all of a sudden David HaMelech stopped learning. That's when the Malach HaMavis got him. Says the Gemara there, Mikan l'tamid chacham shechala shemo yeshiva yeshiva al pischo. A tamid chacham who gets sick, what they should do is they should put the yeshiva in his house. But the Gemara then says, V'lav milsihi dilma asi ligrui beisot. But we don't really follow this rule because it could anger the Satan, make it worse. That if people are coming to make yeshiva, obviously he's a big person, and the Satan is going to work harder to try to get him. Yeshayahu got away with it because he's a tzaddik gomer. That's how the Meforshim explain. But you see the power of Torah. Now, what is the message that Hashem is giving to Chizkiyahu HaMelech through Yeshayahu? Pasuk Hey, Shuva Amarta Chizkiyahu Negidami. Tell Chizkiyahu, who is the leader of my people. Ko Amar Hashem Elokei David Avicha. So says Hashem, the God of David, your father. Shomati es tfilasecha. I heard your tfilas. Ra'isi et dimasecha. I've seen your tears. Hineni rofelach. I am healing you. Bayom hashlishi tala beis Hashem. On the third day, you'll be able to go up to the Beis Hamikdash. By connecting Chizkiah, by calling him Negid Ami, it makes it like a gzeira on the public. It's not just a gzeira on a yachid, it's a gzeira on tzibur. And if there's a gzeira on a tzibur, it's easier for a gzeira on the tzibur to be mizbatel, to be abolished. He mentioned that he's the Hashem Elokei David Avdecha because Chizkiah was going in the ways of David HaMelech. He was a tzaddik. The emphasis on I heard your tefillah and I saw your tears, that a bad nevuah can be abolished through tshuva and tefillah, through authentic tshuva. There's a Gemara in the Yerushalmi, Sanhedrin Daf Yud Amud Beis. There's a pasuk in Yeshayahu, Vayidvar Hashem al Yeshayahu lemor. This is the words of Hashem to Yeshayahu. Haloch v'amart el Chizkiyahu. Go say to Chizkiyahu, Ko amar Hashem Elohei David Avicha, Shomati es tfilasecha ra'isi es dimasecha. And so this we already had here in Melachim. But the next pasuk we don't have. Hineni yosif al yamecha chamesh esrei shana. I'm going to add to your life 15 years. The Gemara says that Yeshayahu had a discussion with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that Yechizkiyahu is a great man. Is he going to believe? He's not going to believe that. First he said you're going to die. Now you're going to live another 15 years. Kadosh Baruch Hu told him you don't have to worry because Chizkiyahu is a great onav. The Gra says that the reason why Hashem hurried to tell him that Chizkiyahu is going to be saved, because we don't want Yeshayahu's nevuah that Chizkiyahu is going to die to become famous, that people are going to talk about it. That's harder to mevatel such a gzeira. And that's one of the reasons why HaKadosh Baruch Hu did this quickly. The Rabbeinu Bachai points out that previously, the only people that it says Elokei, for example, we know it says Elokei Avraham, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov. And the Bereshit Rabbah says, Ha'avos hein hein amarkava. The Avos were the ones that carried God in the world. Now, Markava, a chariot, you need 4 wheels. It's not enough 3 wheels. But we only have 3 Avos. But here it says Elokei David as well. So that fulfills the Merkava. That's how the Rabbeinu Bachai learns. Then here as well, Pasuk Vav, Vosafti al yamecha chamesh esrei shana. Number 1, I will add 15 years to your life. Umikaf melech Ashur atzilcha. You will be saved from the attack of Melech Ashur. Remember, this is according to the opinion that Chizkiyahu got sick 3 days before the miraculous nace where the army of Sancherib was destroyed. So basically, Chizkiyahu is getting double news. He's going to survive, he's going to live another 15 years, he's going to be saved from Melech Ashur. V'asayir azos, the city will be saved. V'ganosi alayir azos, I will protect the city. L'mani u'leman David Avi, for my covet and for the covet of David, my servant.
The Abarbanel offers an interesting shot. He says the extra 15 years would put his date of death at age 54. If it were 52 years or less, it would be considered as if it's kores, that his life was being cut short because he had done something evil. Therefore, it would not, by lasting additional 15 years, his death would not appear as a punishment.
Okay, very good. There's also a question among the Meforshim. Can you add years to a person more than what was given to him at the time he was born? That means when we're born, it's kotsuv. This person's going to live so many years. So there's a machlokes tanoim if there was a gzeira at birth that a person's going to live so many years. Can you add to that? So there's a Gemara Masechta Yevamis, Mem Tes Amud Beis. It says, Es mispar yamecha amale. I will fill your years. I will make sure that your years are full. Tanoihi. The Tanya. Es mispar yamecha amale, elu shnei doiros. That refers to the years that were granted to a person when he was born. Zacha mashlimin lo. If he has zechuyos, Hashem, if he declared that the person is going to live 90 years, he will fulfill 90 years. Lo zacha, poichsin lo divrei Akiva. If he is not zoiche through his actions and his behaviors, then his years are not filled. Es mispar yamecha lo amalei, and he will live less than 90 years. That's how Rabbi Akiva learned. The Chachamim oimrim, zacha moisifin lo. No, that Hashem never takes away that which was granted a person at his birth. It's just that if he has extra zechuyos, Hashem will give him more years. Like we see,
Ernie, I'm sorry
like we
to
see here by
interrupt.
Chizkiyahu, that he was given an extra 15 years. Yes, Barbara.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but wasn't his life reduced by 5 years because Hashem didn't want him to see the evils of Esav?
That's what Rashi says. There brings a medrash exactly like that. That Yitzchak lived 180 years, and Avram only lived 175 years. So there, in the Chumash, when it says that Avram was 175, so Rashi asked, why didn't he live? Because they didn't want him to see all of the various chatoim of Esav.
Of Esav. So his life was at the age that was initially destined for him.
But that was to benefit. But see here, remember
So it wasn't
said,
viewed as a punishment.
Zacha, if he merits it, he lives the full life. But it's not that Avram Avinu was not Zocha. They wanted to protect Avram Avinu there.
That it wasn't a punishment.
It wasn't a punishment.
Right.
There was actually for his good.
Mhm.
Like
Okay.
we say, many times, thank God such and such person was not alive to see what's happened in whatever, right? Sometimes we say that as a blessing for somebody who didn't, live to see a really bad thing happen or something. That's what happened to Avram Avinu. Now, Rashi and Radak and most of the other Meforshim learned that this episode of Chizkiah getting sick was before Hashem destroyed the army of Sancherib. But the Ralbag says it happened after. And so what did the Navi mean that he's going to save him from Ashur? Because his son, Asar Hadon, which was the son of Chanun, also wanted to come and attack Yerushalayim. That's how the Ralbag. Now, the other question that people deal with is Chizkiyahu davened for his refuah. He didn't say anything about being saved from Ashur. So then why did Hashem answer him here regarding that he's going to be saved from Ashur? So the Iyei Hayam wants to learn that the whole purpose of why the sickness was brought onto Chizkiyahu was that he should daven properly on being saved. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu answered him for everything, both on the fact that he got refuah and on the saving. So you never know why something happens to a person. There may be a lot of reasons why Hashem wants the person to daven, and it's nichlal many things, perhaps. So Pasuk Zayin, Vayomer Yeshayahu, Chut Velas Te'enim. Velas Te'enim is like pressed figs, like they make a fig cake. Vayichu vayasimu al hashchin vayechi. Now this was used as some kind of medicinal treatment for a wound that Chizkiyahu had. And this was used as a treatment. Vayomer Chizkiyahu Yeshayahu, Ma'os, Kirpa Hashem li. Chizkiyahu here is asking for a sign that the refuah is coming from Hashem.
So he's questioning. So he's questioning what Yeshayahu has done.
What he
in
wants
terms
to
of its,
know.
in terms of its being a refuah.
There is an issue here that Chazal are going to deal with. That similar. Remember, Avram Avinu asks, "Bameh eda ki irashem," right? In the Bris Ben Absarim, Avram is given a nevuah that Klal Yisrael is gonna be like the stars in the sky, and he's gonna inherit Eretz Yisrael. So Avram Avinu also asks there for a sign. Also, Moshe Rabbeinu asked for a sign. In all of these places, they were considered problematic questions, and we'll deal with this here. Because now, as part of this nevuah to him, he was told that in 3 days you're going to be able to go to the Beis HaMikdash. But Chizkiyahu apparently was very sick here. He didn't believe that in 3 days he's going to be able to do it. So he wanted an oath. He wanted a sign. The fact that Yeshayahu put this fig on this wound and it got better, that wasn't enough of a sign for him. Maybe it wasn't really part of his illness. And the Radak says here, maybe he asked for a sign because when he was told that he was told, Ki mesata velo sichya. You're going to die, you're not going to live. That's like a double whammy. And perhaps he thought that which Yeshayahu is telling him, oh, I'm going to heal you, that's just to comfort him. Because he saw how strong Chizkiyahu was crying. And even though Chizkiyahu saw that this shchin, this boil got healed, he didn't believe that he's going to get healed enough that he could go up to the Beis HaMikdash. Maybe it's going to come back, or maybe the illness is not going to completely go away. The Ralbag immediately says, Ra'ui sheteda, shelo yazeh miut emuna l'Chizkiyahu. The fact that he asked for an oath, because obviously the way Barbara's asking, all of us are wondering, well, it seems like a lack of emunah. No, says the Ralbag. This is not a deficiency of emunah. In Bikesh Ozes. V'zeh shekvar hudiyu Yeshayahu ki gzeres Hashem yisbarach haysa sheyamus. Yeshayahu told him there's a gzer, he's going to die. Now, though, Hashem is agreeing to an extra 15 years. But perhaps Chizkiyahu has to be completely b'shleimus for that tonight to occur. And maybe Chizkiyahu didn't have enough bitachon in himself that he was able to fulfill that night, that he's going to have to be everything b'shleimus. So besides the Tanai, that he wanted an oath. Now, it's brought from the writings of Rav Shimon Raphael Hirsch that the reason why Chizkiyahu asked for an oath here, Yeshayahu had made this pressed fig medicinal thing. Well, people who saw this might think that there was no nace here. This is being done b'derech refuah. And therefore, the refuah of Chizkiyahu is not going to be seen as a Yeshua from Hashem. That was the whole reason that Chizkiyahu had buried the Sefer HaRefuahs. That would force people to daven to Hashem when they got sick. So he wanted an oath that everyone would see that there was a Nes Gadol in his refuah. That's what Rav Shimon Raphael Hirsch writes here. Now, from Chazal, from Masechta Sanhedrin, Kuf Daled Roman Aleph, it's clear Chazal saw a problem that Chizkiyahu asked for an oath. Tanya, Amr Shimon Elazar, Bishvil v'hatov beinech asisi ma'os. Chizkiyahu praised himself. He said, I've done everything good in your eyes. That led to him asking, I need an oath. An Aveira is goyreris and Aveira, says the Gemara. The fact that he was haughty and said, Hatov beinecha sisi, I've done everything good. So it led to this Aveira of asking for a nose. The Gemara there says, Ma'os, what is the sign? There's going to be Goyim eating on his table. We're going to see later on in this parak that the king of Assyria is going to send gifts to Chizkiah when he hears about this nace. The fact that there were Goyim eating on his table, that led to Golus eventually, even from Yehuda. It was not a good thing that Chizkiah asked for an oath, and Chazal say that it led to the ultimate Golus of Yisrael to Bavel. And the Maharal says that it started with Gaiva, when he said, V'hatov beinecha sisi, haven't I done everything good in your eyes? He considered himself a little bit Gaivadik. He wouldn't ask for an oath if he was an Anav. He wouldn't expect anything or want anything. That everything that Hashem did for him was derech chesed. So says the Maharal, V'shvil she'omer ma'os v'lo yamin, gam hagoyim lo yaminu la'os. The goyim who heard about all of this also didn't believe it. Ubo hagoyim elav lidroshas ha'os. The goyim eventually came to visit him. Where's the os? V'zeh goram sha'achtu al shulchano. That led to them eating on his table, because he wanted to honor them, which was really his covet. And that led to the Golus of Bnei Yisrael. So again, we see connections and connections in all of these psukim. Pasuk Tes, Vayomer Yeshayahu, Zelecha os meis Hashem. This is the sign. Ki aseh Hashem es hadavar shediber. Hashem will do what he said. Halachatzel esr malos, im yashuv esr malos. The time is going to go back 10 degrees. Right? They used to use sundials to tell time. And the shade fell on these steps. So Hashem is going to change, like making the sun go backwards in a sense. There's going to be a change in the time of the day. That's the os. Either in 1 second it'll go forward or it'll go backwards. Some say there were pillars, like a sundial. And that would tell them the hours of the day. Now the shade depends on how the sun travels. And even in Bavel, the kings eventually saw this. They saw this nace in Eretz Yisrael. Now, Rashi learns that Chizkiah was given the choice between, should we make the sun stand for a period of time of Esser Malos, or should it go backwards? For example, if now is 4 o'clock in the afternoon, all of a sudden it's going to become 8 o'clock in the morning. Radak says his choice was that the sun will go forward 10 degrees in 1 second, or it'll go back 10 miles. In Sefer Yeshayahu, it doesn't give this choice. It says that he asked for an os, and the Navi answered that the os will be that will go 8 hours backwards. But there was no choice given. So, Vayomer Chizkiyahu, nakel atzel lintos eser malos, lo ki yashuv atzel achoranis eser malos. It's a very easy thing, he says, a davar kal, for the sun to stand still for a period of time. People are not going to see that as well. But if it goes backwards to the morning, that's going to be much more noticeable, much more difficult. And Chizkiyahu wanted a big name, wanted one that was more recognizable. He thought it would lead to a greater Kiddush Hashem. That Hashem involving himself in the way the sun goes. So did the refuah of Chizkiyahu Melech. All happened Meis Hashem. And the Ashur falling. And it's not that Chizkiyahu says the Ralbag, he understands both things are in the hands of Hashem, but it's going to be more noticeable. People will notice if it goes backwards. Pasuk Yud Aleph, Vayikra Yishayahu Navi Hashem. So Yishayahu again, David.
Ernie, can I interrupt a second?
Please.
Two additional interpretations about does the sun really move backwards? According to interpretation that's in the Abarbanel, it wasn't the sun actually. The sun was kind of moving as it usually does astronomically, but it was the rays of the sun were at a certain angle so that only in Yerushalayim they appeared to be moving backwards. That's according to an interpretation of Abarbanel. Huskuni has a completely different take on it. He says that that God prepared the sun for this miracle from the day it was created, as the Torah says in Bereshis, Laos. God used these as sign for Yehoshua and now for Chizkiyahu.
Okay. Yeah. So obviously the Abarbanel is going not like the ones that said that even the kings in Bavel recognized it, because if the way the way Abarbanel learns, it was only in Eretz Yisrael, the people in Bavel wouldn't have seen it. But that's okay. That it seems like there's a machlokas meforshim in the Rishonim how they learned here. So Chazal. So Vayikra Yishayahu Navi Hashem Vayashev Esatzel b'malos asher yarde b'malos achaz achoranit eser malos. It went back, and the Gemara in Sanhedrin Tzarik Vav Amar Rabbi Yochanan Osra Yom Shemesh Bo Achaz Shtei Shos. Achaz HaMelech, who was a Rasha, died very early in the morning, so there wouldn't be time to eulogize him because he was a Rasha. This is now the 10 hours that were brought back that were taken away at the time of Achaz. In Sefer Yeshayahu, it's not written here, Chizkiyahu Melech wrote a letter to Hashem. It says, Michtav l'Chizkiyahu Melech Yehuda. It's Perek Lamed Ches in Sefer Yeshayahu. When he got healed, and he went into the base of Mikdash, he says, Ani amarti bidmi, yamai elecha b'shari shol. It's a whole tefillah and a letter that he writes, thanking Hashem for saving him. Now this leads us to a very famous statement of Chazal in Sanhedrin Tzadik Daled Amud Aleph. There's a pasuk in Yeshayahu, Perek Tes, Lemarbeh HaMisra u'Leshalom En Kates. Now, if you look in the psukim, the mem in Marbeh is a closed mem. It's not like a regular mem. It's a mem sofit. Amrav Tanchum Darish Bar Kapor B'tzir Ne'mak Kol Mem. Every mem in Marbeh HaMisra is a final mem. Loimar Nistamu Advarim Sha'alu B'machshava V'lo Naseh. Hashem had planned things in machshava, but it didn't come true. Shebikesh HaKadosh Baruch Hu listom tsaruseim shel Yisrael. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to end all tsaros. Shebikesh la'asoso Mashiach. Hashem's plan was that Chizkiyahu Melech was going to be Mashiach ben David. Umoiri Rebbe Piresh Lefish Nistam Piv Shel Chizkiyahu V'lo Amashira. But Chizkiyahu Melech's mouth was closed, and he did not say sufficient shira, song. And that is why Shebe'emtza Teva Pasuch V'zeh Sasu. Normally, these mems are open mems, but these mems are closed. Because this pasuk refers to a nevuah that Chizkiyahu Melech is going to be born. Says the Gemara, Bikesh HaKadosh Baruch Hu Lasos Chizkiyahu Mashiach. That in God's plan originally, Chizkiyahu is going to be Mashiach. And Sancheriv Gog uMagog. We know that in the time of Mashiach, Mashiach is going to fight an ultimate battle against Gog uMagog. Sancheriv was supposed to be Gog uMagog. Amra Midas Adin of the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the attribute of justice set in front of God, Ribbono Shel Olam, Uma David Melech Yisrael Shomer Kama Shiras V'Shishbachos Fanecha Lo Asisa Mashiach. David, who wrote hundreds of shiros V'Shishbachos, you didn't make him Mashiach. Chizkiyahu Shasisa L'Kol Anisim Alalu, says Rashi Shenitzah Misancheriv, that it was safe and Nisrapim Mechoim was healed. V'lo Amar Shiril Fanecha Taseo Mashiach Lekach Nistatem. So the mem became closed and it didn't happen. Medrash Eicha says as well, Shechizkiyahu lo amar shira. But the Iye Ayam asked, "V'hu davar pela lama be'emes lo amar." In what Chizkiyahu Melech is at Tzadi Gomor. There's Torah being learned from Dan Fad Beersheva. Why is it that he didn't say shira? Me'achar shenasa lo nisim gdolim shenisrape mechol yov v'gam nitzam esadchev melech Ashur. He's healed from a terrible illness. He's safe from Ashur. V'hayev shalom ki Chizkiyahu be'emes amar shira. So one answer is what I just read to you from Sefer Yeshayahu, the Michtav that Chizkiyahu Melech wrote. He wrote, Hashem lo shieni u'neginoisei neganin kol yimei chayenu beis Hashem. The fact that we were saved, we're going to play musical instruments all of our lives in the Beis Hashem, which means the Chol Yemei Chayav Yinagin B'Shir L'Hashem. For all of his life, he's going to play musical instruments to sing to God Al Shoshienu Hashem V'Rof Mechayav. The Sover Chizkiyahu Desu Lo Mechayav L'Shabeach. Chizkiyahu thought this was adequate. Ach Yesh Loimar. The MS Shiyotzi Dei Chov Shira LaNeshel Refu Asa. Maybe it was adequate, that michtav, for saying Shira on the nace that he was healed. Aval al nace gadol shel hatzalam yad melech Ashur lo amar shum davar. And that is what Chazal say. He should have been Mashiach, but he wasn't Mashiach. He said Shira regarding being healed, but he didn't say Shira on the victory. Now the question begs itself then, why is it that Chizkiyahu didn't say Shira? So I want to give an answer that I saw in Dorash Moshe Feinstein's Sefer on the Parsha. He writes this in the beginning of Parshas Vayishla. Lama shalach Yaakov Avinu malachim mamash le'esav shehu davar shel nes. In that epical confrontation between Yaakov and Esav, Rashi there says Yaakov sent malachim mamish, which is a miraculous thing. Why didn't he send regular human being shluchim? V'omer b'zeh, the Adam HaShalom b'yoser, ein lo hispalus b'nes. On Yaakov Avinu's level, regular malachim, meaning heavenly malachim, human malachim, he's not surprised by nes. Everything is Yad Hashem for someone on Yaakov Avinu's madrega. Malachim mamish, not malachim mamish. And let's listen to the words of Rav Moshe. Ein lo hispalus b'nes yoser me'ateva kavua. There are a number of doctors here in the group. We know there are where we are made of trillions of cells. Each cell is a world in itself with tens of thousands of enzymatic reactions going on with the most complex molecules, and they have to go at a certain rate. There is no greater miracle than regular teva. Regular, what we call nature, is all been created from Hashem. Yesh me'ayin. It was created from tov vavo into unbelievable complexity. Vada ein lecha nes gadol mizeh. Vada rabba mishum yispol yosem nanes hu miktane emunah. Somebody who's impressed only by nisim, says Rav Moshe, he's somebody of small faith. So umefaresh the imkein sarach Chizkiyahu ilu yomar shira al nes shehu lamala min ateva yireh b'zeh shehu mispal yoser min nes lamala min ateva yoser mitever kavua. If Chizkiah would have sang shira on the nes of Sancheriv's destruction, 180,000 in one night, it would show that Chizkiyahu perhaps is one of these K'tanei Emunah, who's more impressed by some kind of, fire and brimstone nes than regular teva. V'zeh lo yitachem, ulefichach lo amar shira. So, Im Tomar, says Rav Moshe, he knows what we're going to ask. Im kein heich amru lo oilam shira al neshu l'malam midercha teva. Kigon Shira Sayam. Well, Bnei Yisrael with Moshe Rabbeinu did sing Shira when something happened miraculous, when the nes split by Shira Sayam. Yesh loimer de Chizkiyahu haya b'madrega gdoila zos. Chizkiyahu was on a higher madrega. Lefichach lo amar Shira. Aval ha'acherim lo amdu b'madrega zu. V'omru Shira kishispalu v'nanes. It says, Az Yosher's Bnei Yisrael. Right? They were on a lower madrega. They were wowed by the nes. V'rotzu nafsham laharos gadlus Hashem b'shirasa. And they wanted to reveal the gadlus of Hashem with their shira. V'av b'shira sayam sha'amar Moshe shira in b'nei Yisrael. So you're going to say, well, what about Moshe? Moshe lo amru ela mishum shebnei Yisrael. He's gadlu az b'midas habitochen shalem kishiro kriyas yamsu. Moshe understood that b'nei Yisrael's level of amunah got V'ratzu lo Moshira, v'shar Moshe moed. And Rav Moshe leaves it, v'ha'inyana dayin tzarech biyur. He's still not completely happy, but he gives us a very powerful answer as to perhaps why Chizkiyahu HaMelech didn't say shir. Any other comments? Pasuk Yud Beis. Boy sahi, sholach Brodach Baladan ben Baladan, Melech Bavel, Sforim uminchal Chizkiyahu. So at this time, Brodach, who was the Melech of Babylonia, sent Sforim and a gift to Chizkiyahu. Ki shama ki chala Chizkiyahu. He had heard, by the way, Ben Baladan, his father was Melech Asar Chidon, who was the son of Sancheriv. Sancheriv had captured Babylonia, and he was the Melech of Babylonia. Babylonia would pay taxes to Sancheriv. As we learned last week, this was the first time a human being had got sick and got cured. So he saw Nes Gadol in that. So he heard that he had gotten healed. So he sent peaceful gifts through love. In Divrei Yomim, it says that Melech Bavel sent this to Chizkiyahu. He wanted to understand what happened to the son. What happened? Why? Because they saw this. They wanted to learn from him. How does he have power over the son? He wants to be able to do the same thing because he wants to beat Melech Ashur. The Abarbanel learns that Bladin ben Bladin hated Sancherib, and he wanted to sort of make an agreement with Chizkiyahu, who was also somebody who was fighting Sancherib. Now, the Yalkut Shimoni says, how did he hear? How did he know about this? So the Yalkut Shimoni says, Lo b'day elechol b'sholosh shos bayom. He would eat at the third hour of the day, and he would sleep for Yoshanat Tesha. He would go to sleep for another 6 hours. But Kivan shechazer gagal chamel l'chizkiyahu near b'tesha shos u'matzah shu shachris. So he slept for the 6 hours that he normally sleeps. Normally he would wake up 5 in the afternoon. He woke up, it's still the morning. Bikesh laragas avodov. You let me sleep until the next morning. They told him, no, the sun went backwards. In Masechta Sanhedrin, it says, Chizkiyahu HaMelech had gotten sick, but he was healed. There's such a person like that? The law be in and I don't say Shalom Aleichem. I have to say Shalom Aleichem. I want to learn the following Gemara with you. Sanhedrin Tzadik Vav. So, Kosfule, so we have to write him a letter. Shalom alamalka Chizkiah, Shalom aleichem Chizkiah Melech. Shalom lakartad Yerushalem. Greetings to the city of Jerusalem. Shalom la'eloha Rabbah. Greetings to the great God. Now, who do you think was the scribe of Baladan ben Baladan? It was Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar Safrei de Baladan Hava. Nebuchadnezzar was the sofer, was the scribe of Baladan. Hahishai Telova Hasam. And at that time, when they were writing a letter, he wasn't there. But when he came, he asked the other scribes, how did you write that letter? We said, Karisu Le'eloha Rabbah, greetings to the great God. Which was written last, right? Because the king had told him first greet Chizkiyahu Melech, then give greetings to the city of Jerusalem, and then give greetings to the God. But Nebuchadnezzar said to them, you call him the great God, you wrote him at the end? So Nebuchadnezzar told them, no, the way you should write the letter is Shalom le'eloha Rabbah, Shalom lekartad Yerushalayim, Shalom lemalka Chizkiah. First write Shalom Aleichem to Hashem, then to the city, then to Chizkiyahu Melech. So Omer lei kayana di garta iu levi parvakno. So they said, let the one who reads the letter, let him be the messenger. Because somebody had been sent already with the previous letter. Rod Basrei. So Nebuchadnezzar ran after the original messenger. The Roid Arba Psios, also Gabriel Vukmim. He ran 4 steps, and the angel Gabriel stopped him. You understand what happened here? Nebuchadnezzar wanted to show greater respect to Hashem. Originally, they had sent the message, and the Malach Gabriel was stopped before he took 3 steps. And if it wasn't for Gabriel stopping him, Amrav Yochanan Yilmole Lo Bo Gabriel V'Midu Lo Hayatakonol Sonim Shel Yisrael, the Jewish people would have ended forever. He would have been able to completely destroy the Jewish people like he wanted to, and instead there was a remnant that Nebuchadnezzar took back to Bavel. Amazing Gemara here, no? Then in Medrash Tanchuma has another version, that it was not Nebuchadnezzar, it was the king himself that regretted after he'd sent the original message. V'omad mekisa v'holach sholosh psios. And he took 3 steps. You stood up from your throne to try to get the letter back. Upasata sholosh psios l'kvoidi. And you took 3 steps because of my covet. Ani mami bibanecha shloisha malachim shlitin misofa olam ad sofa. I will, 3 children of your descendants will rule over the whole world. Nebuchadnezzar, Evel Mroidech, Ubelshazzar. God willing, we're going to learn this in Daniel coming up. But Nebuchadnezzar ruled over the world, his son Evil Mordech, and his son Belshazzar. But they got it as a reward that their grandfather had got up because he wanted to give kavod to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the Maharal points out, sometimes there's a very little mitzvah, but a tremendous schar. Here, he took 3 steps, and the reward was he had 3 sons that ruled over the whole world. That's what the Chazal say in Pirkei Avos. Einata yodea matan schon shel mitzvos. You don't know what the reward for mitzvahs are. Vayikshalacha ki lama miru shelo yasa mitzvah. We know we have Rasha v'Tovlo, Tzadik v'Ralo. We don't know what the schar mitzvahs of Rasha did. It's all a Kodesh Baruch Hu's calculation. The Maharal tells us that it was Daniel who gave this advice to Nebuchadnezzar. And immediately Gabriel had to stop him from doing this very minimal mitzvah. Okay. I think this is a good place to stop because we're going to enter into another thing we have a lot to talk about. So I don't want to stop in the middle of that. I do think we will finish this parak next week and probably start the new parak. Maybe not, because there's a lot to say still about the end of this parak. We're going to come to the end of Chizkiah Melech at the end of this parak. So we may start with Menashe Melech next week, maybe see how it goes. Any comments, questions, other issues? No. Okay, everybody, have a Shavua Tov, have a good week.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Everybody next week.
Thank you.
Yeah.